Welcome, everybody. This is Car Confessions, episode number 15. My name is Matt Johnson, mattjohnsonsells.com, located at John North Ford in Emporia, Kansas. And I come to you each week on Monday at noon, right off the weekend, to give you guys some tips, some tricks, and then interview some business owners as well, some entrepreneurs, so you have an idea of what makes them different compared to somebody else that just is okay with punching the clock, what motivates them, what drives them, and see if it's something that maybe motivates some other people to get them going as well. So some of you have listened to my episode last week. I mentioned a couple of people that I think are just truly inspiring, truly awesome, and motivating. One of them has agreed to grace me with his presence today. Aaron Duran of Synergy Athletics, and I will go ahead and open it up to him and have him tell us a little bit about himself.
Yeah, man. So my name is Aaron Duran. Yeah, I've been in personal training for, going on like 4 years now. Used to work with Matt a while back. So, had a long stint in retail sales, and I loved the beginning of it, but I knew from the very beginning, well before retail sales, all of that, I knew that I just loved helping people. And, so throughout that time frame of being in retail sales, I still worked out and all that kind of stuff. And I remember just like going into the gym every morning and just thinking like, man, that'd be cool if I was walking into work right now, and eventually got fed up with what we were doing. And I wanted to do what I wanted to do with my life, to be happy and to impact others. It got to the point where I wasn't really able to do that anymore in retail. So made the decision to become a personal trainer. I felt like I had a good grasp on working out and stuff like that. So I wanted to help people out with some of the hardest issues in life, which is, staying fit, healthy, overall staying healthy, and trying to be around for those loved ones that are depending on us. And man, I know I don't want to shorten my time up here. So try to be around as long as I can for my kids. And so, personal trainer is what I do, man. Like who I am, first and foremost, I'm a father. I got two beautiful girls, Emma
Awesome.
And Zoe. So Emma is 9, Zoe is 7. So, my parents had 2 boys. I don't know what it was about me and my brother, but we have got nothing but girls. So it is what it is. And, they were a big reason as to why we made the changes we did. I just wanted to be around for them. Retail, obviously, Matt, as takes you away from that. And
Absolutely.
I didn't want that anymore. I was missing some things that I didn't want to miss, and just not being around. So I wanted to be that for them. And, I'm also a husband. I've been with my wife for a number of years. I think we just passed 11 years being married. So I've been with her since I was a junior in high school. So been with
crazy.
her. Yeah. It is crazy. One of the only real serious relationships I've had, and, we've never broken up, which is also pretty cool. I like to brag about that a little bit, but man, it's been a fun ride in, making that jump to, from making a decent amount of money, a good amount of money at Verizon to
Absolutely.
To nothing, to nothing in the beginning, right? Obviously took a lot of work to build up, but personal training and all that kind of fun stuff is what I do. But man, being a father, a husband, friend, all that good stuff. That's really who I am,
Sure. So you kind of hit on a little bit of who you are and, what different hats that you wear. And you mentioned the personal training side of it. What is there something specific that you focus on that is your, I guess, that like I said, that your main focus and that you uh, just do specifically, or is it kind of a broad fitness level or fitness?
Yeah. It's more broad, man. I've done a few like physique competitions, but man, that is extremely difficult to learn how to coach people. There's so many variables, and I felt like my space was more just in general, people that are looking to increase strength, lose weight, and, just overall getting healthy, and not the specific dialed in, part of the population. But that's really what I do. And, I focus a lot on functional movements. So we lift weights,
Okay.
that's a big part of our training programs is, we have to lift weights. And, it just in how I train, I think one of the big things that makes me different is, we just focus a lot on form. That's a big pet peeve of mine is being able to move well. For years I didn't know how to move well. And, I think you can attest to this. You go long enough without moving well, you start to see problems,
Right.
and, the whole adage of, aches and pains come along with getting older. I just don't believe that. So doing things that normally people our age even aren't doing or wouldn't say they would do, So if you ask the middle age, let's just say woman, if she deadlifts, obviously she's going to tell you no. You can ask her if she does barbell squats. She's going to tell you no. But we know that we do that every day. Deadlifting is picking up groceries off the floor or laundry off the floor, literally picking up anything off the floor. A kid, picking up a kid off the floor, or squatting or sitting down. How many people can't get up from the floor? Just little things like that, those are big to me. And that's what we really help people out with, is making sure they're moving properly and able to do these functional movements. That way, when they are picking up, laundry or whatever, then it's no big deal, because they lift a heck of a lot more than that. And, when they're training with me, but just learning how to move well, so you're not getting hurt walking up the stairs or, bending over to make the bed. Just stuff like that can be eliminated if we put focus on it.
Sure. And you've kind of already mentioned why you do it. Because you want to be around a little bit longer. You want other people, you want to help them out so they're here around longer as well. Is there any other reason besides that you left the world of retail and decided to take the leap with both feet, and just any other factors that finally gave you that shove of why you decided to do it?
Man, that's I don't know how much time you have, but there's a lot of things. I think I've always been a competitive person. I've always been someone that it feels wrong to me to think of something and reasons as to why I can't do it. And, you always hear about how much of the population just isn't happy with what they do. They dread going to work. And I remember hearing Les Brown talk a lot about how studies have been done and show that the majority of heart attacks happen in the morning. And they talk about how the stress of people going to a job that they don't want to be at contributes so much to that stat. And I didn't want to do that, man. I was unhappy. I didn't want to spend the majority of my life going to a job that I was doing just to collect a paycheck. And, Zig Ziglar talks a ton about, how, we get in life or we get what we want out of life by helping everybody get what they want. The more people we're able to help, then we're going to be taken care of. So, not only trusting in that, but trusting in our faith that, man, we're going to be taken care of if we take care of others. So the biggest thing after we made this jump is just adding value, man. It means the world to me that, if something I say or do positively impacts, a few people. I mean, just trying to make life better. I mean, you and I both know that life is tough regardless. Like, we don't need to throw other things in the mix. We need to work at it. And I think so many people think that we should just be happy and fulfilled by default. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. If we want to get better at any sport or at your job or anything like that, like, you got to work at it. We all know that. So why would life be any different? And, still a work in progress. There's never going to be a time that I feel like I've made it at all. But I feel like if I'm at least trying, then that's the first step, man, and recognizing that work needs to be done. So adding value to people, and just, I was not comfortable with thinking that there was something in my life that I couldn't do, and
Sure.
was determined to make that leap and at least try it. If I failed and fell on my face, then so be it. But at least I tried, and man, it couldn't have happened without my wife. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but she has a good job, which thankfully she does. But going from making that kind of money with 2 kids to nothing, man, that's without her blessing, this would have never happened. Without that, I don't know where we'd be, man. So I think
Sure.
it's even more her, that she had the faith in me, had the faith in God that, we were going to be taken care of. And if we were doing these things for the right reasons, and so, that's a long-winded answer for that question.
So, but towards the end, you mentioned your wife and having her be a big part of this. So, I can only imagine that just helps with both of you being on the same page, and you're more. It sounds like you're more of a team than you know some couples and some marriages that are 2 individuals doing 2 separate jobs in their own world, and they don't. I know that Grant Cardone talks a big part of a lot of marriages fail because each person brings 50% to the table. Well, you're only bringing half of what you should, is what he talks about, instead of each bringing 100%. And I know that in my marriage, my wife, she's a big part of the reason that I feel that I'm still alive today and where I'm at today, because meeting her, and she's really helped me, and that sounds like that's part of what's happened with you and your wife as well.
Yeah, man, that's exactly it. Eric Thomas, he's probably my favorite motivational speaker, and I mean, I love the dude.
Absolutely.
And part of it too is just how he views marriage, and man, just trying to outgive one another, and trust me, man, my marriage is nowhere near perfect. And me being a male, I have my, I think, ingrained faults that I try to work on. But you're right, man. I mean, it's, without that marriage being where it needs to be, then none of this is possible. And, had our marriage not been in the place that it was, she probably wouldn't have even consented. Hell, I may not have even wanted her to consent, and I just made the decision. You know what I mean? But I just think because we were where we were, that's the reason why everything was possible. And it's funny because, so right now, I know we'll get to this a little bit later, but we're making a huge change in what we do, like a scary change in what we're doing. And none of it was my idea. Everything was her idea, and she had a great idea. And so, like, seeing all of this come out in her, like this inner entrepreneur come out in her, has been amazing throughout this process. And that's not what she does. She's a nurse manager. I mean, she manages a bunch of nurses. Like, I used to manage salespeople. So, that's what she does. But I think in being by my side and right there with me this whole way, she's learning a lot. She's catching on to a lot of the things that that we go through and that we do. And man, before, as to where I would get annoyed if she would try to step into my business,
Right.
I learned that man, that's no way to treat it. Like you just said, it's a team. This is ours. If I fail, she fails just as much, because we're both on the line for whatever we're doing. So yeah, man, 100% agree. That marriage, which we got to work on that first and foremost. Without that, none of this is possible at all.
Exactly. And I know I kind of mentioned, and in the beginning of this, part of the reason that I wanted to reach out to you and see if you'd be willing to come onto the podcast was the article I came across last week, and I did a podcast on because it just I scrapped my other episode and decided to do that with the videos that you do every day. And the article talked about being authentic and who you are. I mean, I don't imagine that it gets much more authentic or transparent as you doing the videos every single day. And like I mentioned in the podcast, I don't know that I could do it every day. I struggle to do a podcast once a week, man. So I mean, tell us a little bit about that, and how that came into play.
Yeah, man. So these videos, they're all on my personal accounts right now. It's been, gosh, this whole marketing thing and social media thing has been so new to me. Shout out to Delphi Barajas, because he is, trying to walk me along this whole thing. So, the whole thing was just putting out content, right? Like putting out content, but making sure that it was valuable, and which spoke to me. I don't want to put something out just to put it out. I wanted to have it be meaningful. So, in the beginning, it was, man, we were going all over the place, just trying to figure out what to do. Or not I was like, this part was solely me, but trying to make sure that we put out content every day. And one of my favorite authors, Andy Andrews, one thing he says that really took a hold of me is, he says, depression cannot, or the seeds of depression cannot take root in a grateful heart. So just meaning that, if we're like, we can't be depressed and grateful at the same time. And what better way to start off your day than to just think about those things that you're grateful for, and I've tried it. It's impossible. You can't do both. You can ignore one and have the other, but you can't do both. So that's kind of what it became, just starting off every morning, just thinking about something that I'm grateful for, because I needed it. As much as I love doing these videos, because hopefully it'll speak to one person, throughout the course of me doing them, I get a lot out of them. It helps me to remember to be grateful. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't doing that before, like I would know that's something I'm supposed to do, but it was never like a structure. I was never like waking up and thinking of what I was grateful for. I was waking up and listening to things that were positive and motivating right off the bat, because I truly believe that, the stats out there that talk about how the first, few seconds of when you wake up determine the rest of your day. I truly believe that. But
absolutely,
I was listening to a lot of other things. I wasn't necessarily reflecting on what I was grateful for, So when Andy Andrews talks about that, and then, thinking of something that we could do on more of a consistent basis, like that was it. If I could, have anyone think that, hey, maybe on a consistent basis, we should be thinking what I'm grateful for, or, maybe I should wake up that way and see what happens. That was big. So and because I think you could agree, like we have something every single day that we can be grateful for. I mean, we always have those defaults. One, we're able to think of something that we're grateful for. I mean, just the fact that we're alive, we're breathing, we can think. And then every single thing around us, man, if we stopped and took the time, there's no reason that we would spend any part of our day thinking about what we don't have, and I'm just as guilty. I mean, I'm speaking to myself right now. So there's plenty to be grateful for. And And to keep remembering that, I think it's extremely difficult to be depressed or down or any of that. I mean, the video today really hit home, that we did, 400 trillion to 1 is the ratio, or your odds of being born. And man, I don't know how people can argue that, there's not a God talking about those kind of odds. But anyway, we won't get into any of that. But yeah, just things like that. If you woke up every day, just thinking that you just beat a 400 trillion to 1 odd, that you woke up, not to mention that you probably woke up in a house, in a bed, in a controlled climate. I mean, that you were able to pull out your phone, flip on a light, go get some food, get in a car. I mean, man, beating those odds of literally just being born, it seems like that was the easy part,
Right.
And then you add everything else. I would love to be able to see the odds of, let's just say you and I, like where we're at right now, because it's a heck of a lot bigger than 400 trillion to 1,
Absolutely. So has that brought some attention to you, or to, whether it's to you, your family, your business, your city? I mean, has that had the effect, I guess, that you were looking for, starting the day off and recording something positive instead of focusing on like the negative part that, so many people seem to just focus on and forget about all the positive?
Man, I don't know. I'm not sure. If it wasn't for like little texts that I get from you, from other people, now here and there, then I don't know. And the thing I've had to make sure, and I had to have this in mind before we even got started, was to not look at that. I just had to enjoy doing it. And if I was getting something out of it, then it was okay, because I want other people to get something out of it, but I know that not many people will probably let me know. And to be honest with you, I've heard personally so much more from individuals here and there that I have honestly never seen like any of the videos. I don't look through them, but I mean, if I see a couple names pop up or whatever, I've never seen any of the names on there. There's never been any interaction of them commenting on any of the videos or any of that, but yet they'll tell me, hey, I really like your videos and this and that. So that kind of stuff is really cool. But as bad as and weird as it sounds like, I entered this without any expectations, just hoping that, I could bring some sort of value to people, but not expecting, I don't know. I didn't want to expect people to be, commenting all these crazy good things about me or anything like that. I didn't need that in order to feel like it was working or whatever you want to say. I just knew that it was a good practice. And it was funny, me and Delphi were talking about this morning, just staying consistent. I've missed some for sure. Like I don't do the videos usually on the weekend. Just maybe a Monday through Friday thing. But regardless, I stay consistent with what our plan is. And we feel like that's a big thing with anything, it's just
Absolutely.
consistent, whether it's working out, whether it's doing these videos, whatever it is, just stay consistent. And what we were saying was, if you enjoy what you're doing, then staying consistent isn't hard, so I don't know if what I'm doing is having any effect on other people, but I enjoy doing it, man. And, it has a chance of making an impact.
Sure.
If it's not till the last video that I ever shoot that impact happens, there's still a chance, and hopefully there's not really any big chances of it bringing people down or being negative to anybody. So yeah, man, it's I don't know if it's made an impact, but I hope that it is to some people out there.
Well, as we kind of wind down the podcast here, is there anything new or exciting in your world, in your industry, that you want to talk about, or that you can't talk about?
Yeah, man. man, I don't know about the industry. I really don't pay attention to the industry as much. I mean, it seems like, what we're trying to do is a little different, in the whole fitness realm, man, we just know that it's more mental. I think that it's funny because I don't want to I don't want to say it the wrong way or people take it the wrong way, but man, we use fitness as kind of a mask, because what we're really doing is trying to get people, like, get to their heart, get to why they're wanting to do things, what they're unhappy with, trying to change them as a person, because if that doesn't happen, then the fitness thing will never happen. Yes, I feel like I know my stuff on a fitness level, technique, all that fun stuff. I know how to get you to lose weight and get stronger and all that. But what I'm really stoked about is having the opportunity to change people, internally. And so what we're doing though is, man, like I said before, we're making some really, really big changes, scary changes, but we're excited. So, before we were Synergy Fitness. That's because that's what we did, was fitness. We did some classes here and there. Me personal training, all that good stuff. Well, now we're Synergy Athletics. So again, my wife's idea. I wanted to bring an indoor facility to Topeka. And we have a few, don't get me wrong, and not putting any of them down by any means, but man, we wanted to bring something that was different. And so we're bringing an indoor facility to Topeka. For the last about month or so, we've been working really hard on getting all this stuff lined up. So we have a certain amount of teams. We have about 15 teams that we're looking to work with and provide like an indoor space for them to practice. Baseball, softball mainly. And that way they know where to go and they have the space all to themselves. They're the only team in there. And then we have some instructors that are coming along to operate out of this facility as well. Because, man, we know the blessings that we've seen from, being an entrepreneur. And that's what these instructors are doing as well. So we want to help that. It's not so much that, like, we're doing anything for them other than hopefully helping provide a base for them to flourish and do what they want to do, just trying to help them build their business so they can see the same blessings and benefits that we've seen in our lives. So we have that stuff happening. My gym is going to operate out of it as well. So we'll still be doing the personal training thing, but we're going to be focusing a lot on kids and be doing some agility classes for kids, some fitness stuff for kids. That's more of a general thing. Topeka has a few really good options for sports specific stuff, but we want to help out with just sports in general. Heck, if it's just kids trying to get in shape and not necessarily for sports or whatever, we want to provide an option for that because we don't feel like there's too many options. And so we're going to be doing a lot with that. A lot with adult boot camps. I don't know if you saw the video yesterday, which share it if you haven't, but we're bringing a different style of boot camps. And before we used to do like 60-minute boot camps, it was just a very general thing that we would do in those boot camps.
Is this the HIT video?
Yes,
I saw that.
HIT. Yeah, I came up with that on a whim. So it's a pretty cool name. But yeah, man, it's all centered around HIT training. So we know that interval training is the way to go. That the long stints of cardio, although people will still enjoy that and want to do that, doing that for a purpose and like losing weight and all that stuff, it is gone. Like that, it's well known that that's not the way to do it anymore. So we're going to go more of an interval training type of method. 30-minute classes, bust your butt, get in and out. And man, it's more beneficial. So many people have the concept of relating time in the gym with results, and that doesn't mix.
Right.
It's proven that this is a much more effective way than running for 60 minutes. We can bust your butt for at most 30 and get better results than those long stints of cardio. So yeah, we're starting that now, even though we're not in the new facility. The new facility is being built. So we're going to be in there by the first of the year, but we're going to start where we are with what we have, because what we have is plenty type of deal, and get the classes rolling now, because we know that back to school time is time that people want to get back into a routine And so we're going to try to help them out now, and then we'll transition over into a much larger space. I mean, so the space we're in right now is like, gosh, man, the workout portion of it is like 1,300 square feet. And the building as a whole is a little bit under 2,000. So now where we're going is a little bit under 7,000. So
Wow.
it's gonna be a much bigger place. And man, as scary as it is, dude, I'm so excited to be able to get this building. And I mean, it's funny because we're not, and I know the guy that I go to for business advice, this was a tough one for us, but you know, we've done a whole business plan and made sure we're doing this the smart way, which usually we don't worry about business plans and all that stuff, you know. And it's worked out so far, but I'm not promoting that. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but it in a roundabout way, man, to be honest with you, I'm more excited about what this facility will allow us to do for kids and adults as well in Topeka, to be honest. I'm not thinking that we're going to get rich off of this. I'm not thinking that, you know, we're going to be able to kick our feet back here in a couple of years and just let it roll. None of that. I'm just really excited about what this is going to be able to do for a lot of people. You know, I know it's gonna work out that way, and that's what I'm most excited about. And hopefully, we make a little money along the way.
That's awesome. I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about, or that I haven't got a chance to ask you or touch on yet?
Man, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could always talk about, but you know, if obviously a lot of people probably have no idea who I am, and you shouldn't really. I'm nobody crazy special or anything, but you know, check out the Facebook right now. There's you know, my personal page where some of the stuff comes out, which is just me, Aaron Duran. The Synergy Athletics page, you can check that out as well. And then on Instagram is the same thing. I think on Instagram it's Synergy Athletics RPA, retain, persist, apply. And Instagram for me personally as well. I know that's where the majority of these videos come out. But man, I think, you know, the biggest thing that I don't know that I would say, the thing that's been the most important to me is, you know, just people not settling. You know, life is way too short and to live unhappy or just not to the fullest. You know, to not be alive, to live but not be alive. I mean, try those different things that spark a little bit of interest, of boost in your life. You know, I mean, I'll share one quick thing and then we can wrap up whatever. But
Sure.
you know, the biggest thing that I contribute to me even changing the way that I think has been the way that I start my day. And it was funny, you know, I was the same way as everyone else was with, you know, motivational videos and stuff like that. I'm like, whatever, you know, like, no, I don't listen to them. I'm fine. But when I started really thinking about it, and I listened to a couple of them, and then obviously, you know, I told you I heard the Les Brown video when he's talking about, you know, all the scientific things behind how we start our day and why it's so important. I figured, hey, what's it gonna hurt? Like, what is going to happen negatively that by me waking up, literally turning over, putting on headphones and starting my day like that? Like, what bad is that gonna do? Well, nothing. And so I did it. And that's the one thing, man, that I'll tell you changed my life. Was starting my day like that. I mean, to this day, that was over 4 years ago. To this day, I still do it. It's a little bit different, you know, content now. It's more of a wide variety, a bigger mix of things that I listen to. But regardless, that's still how I wake up. You know, wake up just before 4, stumble out and get my headphones and start listening to stuff. And that's it, man. I mean, just pouring that sort of information into your life is going to be the biggest thing. And you don't even have to sit down and like jot notes down. I know a lot of people, you know, don't listen to these things or don't pay attention to them because of that. They feel like they need to be just like this, you know, in front of a computer at the table to be able to take notes. Man, I promise you, just like you listen to music, it's the same influence. You know, believe it or
Absolutely.
not, you're getting something from that music, positive or negative. So why wouldn't these other videos or speeches or whatever be the same? So if that's like the one thing that I could say, you know, is the biggest thing that I would just challenge people to do, and that'd be it. And you got nothing to lose with clients that I talk to about this stuff. You know, it's crazy because why wouldn't you do it and at least see? Like, if you try to tell me that's not your thing, I get it, but like, that can change. You know, you have full control over what your thing is, or whatever. You know, if it changed your life, I'm sure it would be your thing. So I don't know, man. Just trying to get as much positivity poured in, because I don't think we need to try to get the negativity poured in. I think we get that, you know,
We get
on
enough
a
of that.
daily basis. We get enough of that, and honestly, we get enough of it from ourselves. Like, we're the ones who provide the majority of it, but there's plenty externally that we can take into. So why not fight it? I mean, it's not by default, man. We are not.
Couldn't agree
We're
more.
not we're not happy, satisfied. None of that stuff comes easy, dude. That's why the majority of people are unhappy with their marriage, with their career, with all this stuff, man. And trust me, I'm still talking to me. Don't think I'm talking at anybody. I'm still talking to me. So, yeah, dude, that's the biggest thing that I would just challenge people. Check me out. Hopefully I could, you know, say something that is interesting to you, and, you know, along the way, but pay attention to what we're doing, because honestly, like what I just talked about, what we're doing with the new facility, I don't even know if that's it. I mean, the cool thing is we have a lot of space to do a lot of cool things. And we're just extremely excited about it. So pay attention. And who knows, we may be doing some online stuff as well with some of these classes. So maybe you can get out on them too.
All right. I appreciate you sitting down with me, taking the time. Um, there you have it, everybody. Look for Aaron Duran on Facebook, Synergy Athletics, Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I can put you in contact with Aaron. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Matt Johnson Sales. Check out my website, mattjohnsonsales.com, and get a hold of me. And until next week, I will see y'all later. And thank you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.